What's up, everyone? We're well into April. We're almost into May. Like we're heading straight for summer. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you catch your breath, because to be honest, I feel like I'm doing a lot of work over here. I'm making things happen. Things are breaking. I mean, personally, we had this huge storm last night and here in Waco, Texas, and it was just wild. There's trash cans floating down the street. The streets were flooded. There was a transformer that, I don't know if it got hit by lightning or something came down on it, and there was a tree that was getting lit up, and there was sparks and flashes and lights coming across the street, and all these emergency vehicles headed over there to deal with that. And then on top of all that, our lights started flickering, and then boom, our kitchen went out. Our hot water heater, anything that was connected to the kitchen, dining room area was gone. Wouldn't work. We tried a bunch of things. I went to Lowe's. I got some replacement outlets. I tried some GFI outlets, whatever. I was doing what I could to try to make it work. Nothing worked. So we finally called an electrician. They came out today, chased down the problem. It was one of our fixtures. One of our light fixtures had so much water in it, it just completely overloaded the system, and that's what was breaking the breaker. So problem solved. It's just like always something, right? You have to prepare for what you can't prepare for. Like something's going to go wrong in life, and it's just I don't know if I need the lessons. I've had the lessons over and over and over. I don't know how many times I've had our gear ripped off. We've been, stranded in some country on tour. Like, I'm just like, I'm done with the lessons. I'm ready to enjoy that. But it is what it is. Life keeps coming, and we don't get. I don't think it's a karma thing or a luck thing. It's sometimes your breaker's just going to flip. You can't stop the rain from coming. It's going to come. Your breaker's going to flip, and you got to just deal with this problem as it arises. And that's what we do. So this podcast, I'm recording it it's like the podcast is almost going to be out, and I'm recording it because I've just been doing one thing after another. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to my YouTube. And you know what? MXPX, we're getting busy, starting to make some things happen. In fact, today, later today, look on the MXPX social media, wherever you go to the YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. We have some news coming. So I'm just going to put it out there, MXPX.com. All right. Thank you. Merch. We have vinyl, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, bunch of cool stuff. That's at MXPX.com. But yeah, today's a big news day for MXPX, but if you're listening to this right when it comes out, I can't say anything, so I gotta wait. Tune into MXPX though. If you're not already following MXPX on wherever you enjoy, if you're on Facebook, please go like our official MXPX page. Go follow and go become part of the MXPX Facebook group. Cool place to be. I like to see what's going on in there. So any of the socials, please follow MXPX on there because we got some news coming. All right. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. The Mike Herrera podcast is going. We got some voicemails for you today. I'm about to get those playing. But first, I wanted to say coffee has been going well. The one thing that's not going well is anytime I have a coffee cup that doesn't actually have a lid that stays on, it's a guarantee I'm gonna drop that coffee on the ground. I'm gonna knock it over. It's gonna fall down. Most of my coffee is gonna spill out. So that is still true today. It happened today. I was setting up everything. I had my coffee here. I was boom. My coffee, most of my coffee is on the ground right down there. And I did not get on my hands and knees and suck it. I did not. But I picked it up, and I've got a little bit left. So my wife got me this coffee earlier, and I transferred into this little portable outdoor cup, and it didn't work out. I think I'm learning a lesson. It's taken me a few spilled coffees to learn, and I obviously still haven't learned, but the damage is done for today. So it is what it is. That's how it's going. Coffee's going well when I actually can keep it in my cup. Let's get to it.
Hi, Mike. It's Tawny again, Justin's girlfriend. He doesn't know that I'm leaving you another message, but I wrote it down. I wrote down a couple notes so I can kind of flow freely. I wanted to follow up and share with you a little bit more about what I came up with in response to your feedback on episode 555 of your show. By the way, when you ask me, how are you? The answer is yes. I'd absolutely love to collaborate and work with you on something meaningful. What's really amazing about this encounter is that I wasn't even the original fan. So what started out as a conversation with my boyfriend has turned into something that's inspired me deeply. It's funny how inspiration works, and that's what led me to create the Punk Rawk Foundation. Rock is spelled with a W instead of the usual C to honor your tattoo that you got in your youth, as you shared. That tattoo represents how over time it connects with you in ways that only experience can show. ROC is an acronym for resilience, art, wisdom, and knowledge. That's what it stands for. So those are values that we want to elevate, through this foundation. Most musicians that are either just starting out or have no platform for influence to share their story need support, because without those specific ROC values mixed with financial hardship, I personally could feel, I feel personally that I could put a damper on one's quality of life. So that's the first part of my message. Thank you for listening. And the second part is about the idea of the Punk Rawk Foundation's mission statement and vision. Thanks, Mike. Talk to you soon.
Okay, so I love it. Punk Rawk Foundation. The tattoo's right here. The thing that comes to my mind is, how are you going to start? What does it start as? Because when you start out, it can go anywhere. But you need to start connecting with people. So how do you do that? Is it a YouTube page? Is it a YouTube channel? And I love that you actually came up with something and you're inspired by it. So what's next? All right.
Hey, Mike. It's Tawny, Justin's girlfriend again, with part 2 of my message in regards to launch.
Okay, so she called back in, left another message, and we're going to hear that. And I didn't realize she called back in, but it's the next one. So, like I said, I don't really listen to these messages. I just play them. And if it's really disastrous, I'll just cut it out. But for the most part, I just try to let it go. So here is Tawny, Justin's girlfriend, message 2.
Hey, Mike. It's Tawny, Justin's girlfriend again, with part 2 of my message in regards to launching the Punk Rawk Foundation. I wrote it down to save time. So life is meant to be enjoyed. That love for music, mixed with the true emotion behind what drives the music itself, provides support and broadens the reach of what MXPX started, and also connects with more people who have similar experiences like ours. The Punk Rawk Foundation is built on the story you shared behind your tattoo. It's a foundation for people who want to create their own stories and share their journeys just like you did. Stories like yours will drive the foundation forward. And while MXPX is at the heart of this, the foundation is also open to other musicians, especially struggling musicians, who have inspirational stories to tell. These stories will help drive the purpose of the foundation. And as we grow, we hope to support these musicians in a meaningful yet practical way. That alone could lead to affiliate links, collaborations, or future partnerships with an umbrella of other groups and musicians. As for funding, whether through crowdfunding, angel investors, or other sources, everything will funnel into the Punk Rawk Foundation to continue supporting musicians, especially those in financial hardship, who are trying to keep their music alive despite the struggles. I put together a business plan for the foundation, and I'd love to share it with you to see if it aligns with your vision. So just let me know where I can send my direct contact info, and we can connect further. Thank you so much for your time, and I express sincere gratitude to you and your influence. I really look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks again, Mike, for listening. Bye.
Amazing that you did all this. You had some thought that you put into this. Let's do it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I will support you through the podcast. I'll keep telling everybody about it as it gets going. Now, your mission statement, what you want to do, there's so many possibilities. So I would just stress that stay focused. And I love the idea of telling stories of musicians, helping people. I mean, musicians, they have the best intentions, but they don't necessarily know what they're doing, right? They don't know what they're doing because they haven't grown up talking to a camera. They haven't grown up doing interviews. And I remember when I first started doing interviews, I would talk like this, and I would be very subdued, and I wouldn't realize that, people are actually trying to listen to you. Speak up, man. Speak up. Do this. So I don't know what your real focus is other than just supporting musicians, but we all need support. So I love it. I love the idea. And I think as we get into it, as you get into it, as you and your boyfriend, Justin, get into this foundation, it's going to make sense what's working and what people like and what people are connecting to and what people are responding to. But I just want to encourage you to don't give up and keep going, because it's so easy to be excited about something day 1, day 2, day 3, week 1, week 2. But as you get into it, the consistency is really what makes a big difference. I've talked about this over and over again on this podcast. It's like beating a dead horse. Consistency. And I know from experience, the only way I've really become successful is because I haven't given up. When I fail, I keep going, or I pivot, or I figure out why I failed, and I apply something to that. But the main thing I don't do is I don't stop trying. So I encourage you. I love this. People can get really weird and distracting when you have something that's actually working and that's a cool idea. So stay true to yourself. Stay focused. People will come up to you with good ideas. It doesn't mean you have to do them, especially when you're not ready, because we want to do everything. When we have a new idea, a new business, a new venture, a new band, whatever it is, we have all these grand ideas of what we want to do and what it could be. And I think it's most important to stay focused on the original plan. And if that works, it's going to bring all those opportunities that you have in your mind. It's going to bring it all, and it's going to be glorious. But when you start getting distracted too early, all these ideas can actually bog you down, and you don't get the momentum you need to make the main thing the main thing. All right? Thank you so much. Call in again. Let us know how it keeps going. I will contact you and give you my email. Now, I'm going to say I don't spend a lot of time on the podcast. I spend just a little bit as I make it, but I'm not going throughout my week and corresponding. So it might take a couple weeks for me to get back to you if I do. So don't be discouraged by that either. I'm here to tell you I do support you, and I'll keep talking about it on the podcast as much as I possibly can, as long as you keep calling in, all right? Maybe you and Justin call in together when you guys have a reason to. You don't have to next time, by the way. You can just call in by yourself. Believe me, I don't mind. Now, Justin's going to hear this, I hope. He's going to hear this episode, and he's going to be like, whoa, babe, are you like a fan now? What's going on? And I love it, And don't be afraid to be like, yeah, you brought me into this whole MXPX thing, and it's inspiring, and it's a positive uptick in both of our lives, and I hope you guys do well together. I appreciate you, and thanks for calling in again. All right, let's get to our next call. It's Nate. I don't know what he wants to know, but let's find out. I think Nate's from Florida, if I had to remember. Here we go.
Hey, Mike, this is Nate. I'm calling this time to ask you a few questions here. One, I'm always wondering what you do to get your vocals ready before you sing, whether it be acoustic, on show, whatever it is. What kind of vocal exercises do you do to perfect your voice so it sounds the way it does, which is amazing. Also, with the PxPX membership, didn't know if we could start something like a special, national day for MXPX fans that are part of the membership. But maybe.
All right. Hold that thought. It's obviously two different questions, so I'm going to go ahead and answer the voice question, and then we'll continue with the PxPX fan club stuff. I like where you're going with this. So vocal warm-ups. I do a lot of different things. It really depends. How important is this show? How nervous am I? The more nervous you are, the more you need to warm up. And the less nervous you are, you can just walk on stage and start singing, and you'll warm up as you go. I've done it both ways. For MXPX, traditionally, I hum a lot throughout the day. Like, I'll just start humming, not in the morning, but I'll wait till the afternoon and I start humming, just like that. And that will progress as I get more awake. It'll progress to, I might do scales, hum scales, and then you can start singing scales where when I'm doing my actual warm-ups, I'll pick up an acoustic guitar and I'll play a scale, and I'll go ma 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 moo 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 me 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 me, and you can do all the different sounds, mamas, ni nay nay, bye 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 bye, whatever you can think of. I don't have a set thing that I do every time. Like I said, it really depends on how nervous I am. The more nervous, the more I'm going to warm up. And to be honest, I just need my vocals to be warm, and then the rest is mental. The rest is all mental, and part of being prepared mentally is warming up and knowing mentally I'm going to sing well. I don't have a problem. My voice is good today. Because there are times, on tour, you're singing every night, and your voice gets tired. It's just a little weak, a little squeaky, and you feel like, okay, I need more sleep, I need more water, I got to hydrate more, and you just can't get enough sleep, you can't get enough water, and the show must go on. So I will, on those days, I'll wait till much later in the day to talk. I won't talk a lot. I'll chill. They call that vocal rest. If you can't, a vocalist can't speak all day. Sometimes that's vocal rest. You're not allowed to speak. That works. It works because it gives your vocal cords more time to prepare. But so I've been through every scenario as a singer. Gotten sick, been on stage sick, playing well. I remember probably the worst, one of the worst times ever was Tumble Down. We drove all night. We're stuck in a snowstorm over the passes. We're all out there changing our tires, trying to get the chains on, and the chains got stuck, and we couldn't get them off. We got them off. We're all soaked, and finally got the chains back on. Had to hire somebody to do it. It worked, but we're tough guys. We're out there in the snow, no matter what. But drove all night, got to Sacramento, or it wasn't Sacramento, it was like Modesto, California, something like that. We played this bar show. It was great, but I could, and then the next night I was getting sick, and we were at that point, I think we were in Sacramento or somewhere a little south, and sang great, but at the end of the show I could just tell my voice was just dying. It was just, and sure enough, voice next day, terrible. We had a show at the Knitting Factory in Hollywood, California, and barely could get through the show. And it was us headlining, so it was our show. I felt terrible. Got through it, but it wasn't the best. And the next night was Tumble Down opening for Social Distortion at the Fillmore in San Francisco. So I had no voice. Nothing. Like, I could barely sing, and we're just like, dude, they gave us the opportunity to open the show, and we're just gonna suck. It's gonna just be ugh. But you know what? We didn't cancel. We went on. We're like, you know what? We can jam a lot and do a lot of solos and just make something happen. So we went on stage, and I squeaked out some vocals a little bit, said, sorry, I can't really sing, but we're gonna jam, let's go. And broke a string, and we don't have a guitar tech. This is Tumble Down. Like, it's just 4 guys in a van. That's it, and we were doing it. So Oliver Peck actually was with us. He was riding in the van with us from LA to San Francisco and going to the show, and he wasn't much help, I'll say that. He didn't fix my guitar string, but he was there to witness the disaster. That show, I was embarrassed about that show. I still am. I mean, it was terrible. Tumble Down is a band that is so good live, or it was so good live when we were touring all the time, that to get to open for all those people that love Social Distortion, that would love Tumble Down, and to not really be able to put on a show, the show that that I know that we can do because I can't sing. It was devastating. It was devastating. And sometimes that happened. That's a fail. That's a huge fail in Tumble Down's career. And could it be avoided? Maybe. I mean, how is that? I probably shouldn't have been drinking. Whatever else I was doing out on the road, I don't know. But hindsight 2020, I wish I had slept a lot more leading up to those shows, But what are you going to do? I didn't know we were going to get stuck, at driving all night because we were stuck on the mountain in the snow trying to change chains. So it is what it is. But crazy things happen. But that's vocally... humming is the best thing you can do. Just if you don't know at all what to do, hum. It'll help you. So aside from that, there's so many resources online. I took voice lessons way back in the day. Tom Urey and I all took lessons together. I want to say it was around Slowly Going the Way of the Buffalo. Wow, jamming. And I took... Mostly what I took from it is it's really bad to clear your voice. It's bad. That's bad. Did it stop me from doing it? No. Wow, that is loud. That's somebody walking by with a radio. It's got to be. Anyway, I learned how to warm up my voice. I learned all the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, all of those. Just do scales, me. I learned how to... Here's another one that will help you if you just want to strengthen your breath work, strengthen your vocal. Hold your breath a lot. Hold your breath both ways. Not only inhaling, hold your breath in, but to strengthen your diaphragm, you breathe out, exhale all of your air out, and hold your breath out. And just do that for as long as you can. That will strengthen you. You'll be a better singer if you do that. I'm still holding my diaphragm. But yeah, that's, if you can hold your breath for 2 minutes or more, you're solid. If you can't hold your breath for more than a minute, you probably need to work on it. Work on that. That's cardio as well. And I'm not going to say you need a ton of cardio, but I will say this. Sun's starting to kill my video look. I'll say this. A lot of musicians, a lot of singers, including myself, but when we're practicing for sets, we sing the whole set and jump around. And I know Derek Whibley from Sum 41, formerly of Sum 41, he does this. Pierre from Simple Plan does this. They'll maybe even hold a microphone and they'll just put on their set of songs and they'll jump around and they'll sing. And you could do cardio. You could be if you have a treadmill or something, get on the treadmill and do cardio while you're singing. That will kill you and that will get you ready. You'll never be tired during a show. So those are some recommendations. Let's hear your idea about PxPX.
The PxPX membership special concert for members only, just to create some perks. And maybe, with PxPX members, if we do a certain amount of posts about MXPX, we get points that we can use in the shop with special merch for members, right? Kind of make it like an exclusive thing. And then that'll also build the population of MXPX members on there in the PxPX VIPs or something like that. And then lastly, as I'm working on my acoustic guitar and trying to, learn your songs. Okay.
I'll pause you there. Let's talk about PxPX. So Poking at You Punks, that's our fan club. You get discounts in the store. So it's basically like, I think it's $25 or $30 a year, not a month, a year. It's not an auto subscription, although we probably should make it an auto subscription. It'd be a lot easier for you guys. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be worked on and needs to be bettered, and we would need to probably hire somebody to do all that because we don't have enough people. We don't have a big enough team to do that. Also, the fan club doesn't make us any money. Like, we definitely lose money on the fan club, just because we when you pay that $25 or $30 for the fan club, you get a free T-shirt with it. You get an exclusive fan club T-shirt that literally would cost more or the same price if you were buying a T-shirt in the store that wasn't a fan club T-shirt. It would cost the same. So you're getting a T-shirt and all this other stuff for the same price. So we do discounts in the store. We do pre-orders. We do pre-sales on live ticket sales. We do stuff like that. We used to do meet and greets. Now it just didn't make sense to do meet and greets because, like I said, it's $25 a year. And we don't charge for our meet and greets for the general public. So you can just come to a show. You don't have to be part of the fan club, and you can come to a meet and greet for free. It's always after the show, and it's always venues that are probably 2,500 and under. Venues that are 3,000 and up, we're not able to do that. It's just too big of an audience, too big of a crowd. But yeah, we generally try to do that for the general audience, no charge. Just if you're in there, you're in the club. But I love your idea about exclusives. You had an idea about a PxPX day. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if we're that big yet to where we need our own holiday, but I would love it. I love your idea about an exclusive live stream concert. I think, yeah, we'll talk about that. Let's talk more about that. Maybe bring that up on the PxPX Facebook group. So there is a private Facebook group for PxPXers only that you can't get into unless you're a subscriber. And I frequent that one most often. I try to, if there's a question, I'll try to answer now and again. And more, it's people that I've known for a long time. But there's a lot of people in the fan club that I don't know. I haven't met yet. But it is an exclusive little club. There's not thousands and thousands of people. It probably sits around 1,000 to 2,000 people ever. It's very chill, but we love it, and we love you guys for being part of it. If you're part of PxPX, it definitely. I've never heard one complaint about the price of our fan club. You get every month you get an email that tells you what the new code is for your discount code in the store, and you get emails exclusively letting you know what's going on. And it definitely you definitely get things you don't get if you're just going to the store. So. But I would love to continue to build on that, and we'll see. We'll see. Does it need, a complete overhaul, or should we just add little pieces? Do we need to completely tear everything down, find the corruption, maybe pull a Doge, or do we just try to fix a few problems here and there, add a piece? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Not just you, Nate. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on that. If you want to call in and be part of the podcast, be on the podcast, on my voicemails, call in. The number is 360-830-6660. It's Google voicemail, and I'll get that, and I'll play it next time or the time after that. We'll see. It depends on when you call. Let's get to your next part. What are you talking about, Nate? What are you asking? Let's find out.
Would you ever come up with an acoustic chord book with all your songs in, like Last Ride, or the whole, Life in Quarantine album, or your acoustic in Texas, like all of those? I'd love to have like a tab book. I'm old school, like an actual book I flip through and kind of play from there. But just was wondering those things. The song you did with your daughter, Taylor, was amazing. The No Effects One Only one. I'd love to do that with my daughter. So thank you so much for everything, and I hope you have an awesome week. And talk again soon. Bye.
Awesome. Nate called back in, and I wonder if it's about the same thing. It probably isn't, so we'll hold off on that. I love your idea about the chord book. We had one for the Ever Passing Moment. It was Hal Leonard, so it was a major publishing company that does chord books. like Beatles chord books and MXPX chord books, but we haven't done one in a long time. So your idea comes at a good time. I think it would be awesome to have a Let's Ride, not a Let's Ride, like a self-titled and a Find a Way Home book, maybe something for the next album, the new album that comes. Maybe a few extra. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. But the one thing I would say is I could write down tabs. It would take me a minute. I could write down chord sheets as far as chord charts, meaning, all right, this song is A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. But I can't write the notes. And I didn't write the notes when we did the Hal Leonard book for The Ever-Passing Moment. Somebody did that. So, and they did a good job. And there was a few chords that weren't correct, but the notes were correct. So it was like, okay, they said A major. This is an A major seventh. They said A minor. This is a A minor seventh or whatever. So, I would need help with the chord book. Can you do that, Nate? Do you read music? Do you write music? Is there anybody else out there that does that? Do you do that for a living? I don't know. Somebody call in or write me, contact me, find me, DM me, whatever it is. DMs, I don't always see them all, so you might be waiting a while on the DMs. But I would need to collab with somebody on a chord book, and I'm not unwilling to do that. Now, do I have time to do it right now? No, but I love the idea, and it's long overdue. We haven't had one in a while, so that would be cool. Great idea, Nate. All right, let's find out what else you wanted. Here we go.
Hey, Mike, sorry, I had a little bit more to that. So with the PxPX members concert, we could do it online, like streaming. I think you get like a code to the members via their email that's on file. Just thought it'd be something cool that bring us all together as a community. We can kind of go in the chat and talk to each other and how long people have been members and all that kind of stuff. So just thought that sorry, I'm driving and you heard that beep. Boston traffic, so you know how that goes. You've driven in Boston before. But thanks, Mike. Appreciate you, as always, taking my call. Bye.
Yeah, Nate, I don't know what this show would be without you, buddy. I thought you were in Florida, but you're in Boston. I apologize for that. Hard to keep track of all you people. No, call by all means. Call in when you're driving. Call in when you're walking, when you're working, when you're sleeping. Whatever it is, call in. Just be safe and don't crash. Don't prioritize the call over your driving. Drive safe out there. Travel safe, everyone. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant is a live stream, because there's no way we would be able to do an exclusive face-to-face concert. One, all the PxPX people couldn't make it to that. It would be way too expensive for them. But funny thing is our Bremerton shows, when we played Bremerton this last summer, and we did 2 nights at the Admiral Theater in Bremerton. Both nights sold out. It was so much fun. It was awesome. And it really felt like an exclusive PxPX show. Like, I know there was plenty of people from Bremerton, hometown people, and the crowd was great. But there were so many PxPXers, so many fan club members there that, we had get-togethers, and it was really, really fun. What's funny about that whole thing is people wouldn't realize it, but the timing, like when it's during a show, when there's PxPX get-togethers, fan club get-togethers, people meeting up and hanging out, I would love to go and see everybody and meet a bunch of people. But when it's a show day, you've heard, if you've ever heard the podcast, I don't do much during shows, and I don't want to go out there and be expending energy and kissing babies and kissing and kicking babies, whatever it is you do out there as a politician. That takes out so much energy, so I don't usually try to do that, and that's why we do the meet and greets after the show. It's like, all right, we're done. Now we can relax and really be normal people. I can't be a normal person when I'm about to do a show. I am, like I said, I'm thinking of me, and I can't help it. So, yeah, good times. All right, Nate, thanks for calling in. I appreciate every single call, every single time. Your questions are great. Keep it coming. All right, we got one more voicemail, and we'll wrap it up. Here we go.
Hey, Mike. This is Scott from Scottsdale. I got a couple things for you this week. One of your previous podcasts, you talked about going from Vespas to Harleys. I was curious if you still ride, and if so, what do you ride? I started with an Iron 883, and then I upgraded to a Street Bob, and now I'm running a lowrider. So curious about that. Second one, you'd mentioned in one of your previous podcasts sort of your shift in religion. Curious where your head's at with that nowadays. I know sometimes age changes things, so curious about that. And then third, I was watching a documentary on Family Ties. The little brother in Family Ties, they did an interview of him, and he's got a huge Poking At Your Punk tattoo on his arm. Thought that was pretty funny. So cheers.
Scott from Scottsdale, man. Thanks for the call. Yeah, that's Brian Bonsall. He's a nice guy. He is a child actor, obviously. He was in Family Ties, and he now plays guitar for the Ataris. So I get to see him kind of regularly because they play with us a lot. It's good. It's good, man. He's a good dude. I think it's this weird simulation kind of thing. Like, all right, like this kid that I watched that show when I was a kid. Didn't think of him as anything special or not. He was just an actor in the show. Like, that's a character. That's the little kid. So it's awesome to know that Brian's doing well, and he loves punk rock. He really does. He loves MXPX, and he loves playing in the Ataris, and he's a good dude. So shout out to Brian Bonsall. Now, let's see. Motorcycles and religion. Let's get into it. I started riding motorcycles, I don't know. It wasn't that long ago, to be honest. The first thing I got was a Harley XL 883 Sportster. The year was 2003, so it was the 100-year anniversary edition of Harley. And the bike, it's like the silver look, and it looks different than all the other bikes. And I just really like the look of it, the sporty. It's like it was like, okay, I can handle this. This isn't this huge bike. And the very first time I drove off the lot, I almost dumped it onto the ground. And I was like, whoa, all right, pay attention here. You know, there's different weights involved, and you got to get your momentum and your leverage. And I never dumped it, luckily, never did. But that was an eye-opener. But I bought it straight up. I didn't have a motorcycle license, so I eventually got my motorcycle license. But when I first bought a bike, I didn't. I was rolling with no license, just going for it. So that was my first bike. Cruised around on there, all over town mostly. Went to Seattle a few times. Went to Tacoma a few times. Mostly used it to cruise around on the back roads, cruise around town, joy rides. Wasn't using it so much as a commuter. But this was, I don't know what year. It was pre-kids, so probably around 2007, 2005, somewhere in there. And I kept that bike, and I got another bike. It was a Harley Softail. I don't remember the year, but just picture a big bike that has gone to Sturgis, and something that would fit in with any bike gang. Like it had a look to it. It looked like, I think its license plate said Boss Hog. And I just wanted something more long distance, something bigger, that if I wanted to travel, I could travel. And so I got this Softail, and I did pretty well, and Holly could get on the back, and we rode around on that a bit. It had a big windshield. So picture like an old school Elvis Presley cop bike. The old, not the big new fairing thing, but like the old 1950s style Road King. That is kind of what it looked like. It was a Softail. I think it was a Road King or something like that. But it was a good bike. I ended up selling that and selling my Sportster, and I got a 1943 Dodge pickup. I always need some sort of like hobby car, and I don't really have one right now, but when I had kids, I decided I'm not going to have the time to ride these bikes. And so I got rid of the motorcycles and decided if I want the motorcycles again someday, I'll just buy another one someday, you know, and these weren't the bikes that the only one I regret maybe selling is that 2003 Sportster, because it is such an iconic year. It's the 100-year anniversary, and it's an iconic look, and the bike itself was flawless. It was in perfect condition. I got it in, I want to say 2007, like I was saying. But at the end of the day, I don't regret really any of that, because they're all just possessions. They're all just things. And I don't get too attached to things, not even a guitar or a bass. Like, I might be bummed because it's going to cause me effort and I got to reset something up and I got to get a new bass ordered or whatever it is, but it's not the thing itself that I get sad about, not the possession. It's the, oh man, that took a long time to dial in, you know? So you wanted to know about like update on my religion. Now, I would say that my thinking is constantly changing, not monumentally changing, but just a little bits here and there. And I realize I am influenced by the world around me. I'm influenced by propaganda. I'm influenced by what I see online, what I see on TV, even the commercials that I'm not paying attention to. I assume, and I have to assume, I am influenced by that. And because of that, I try to really not jump to conclusions one way or the other. I don't know, because the earth and the universe, it's so big and it's so much bigger than us that there's got to be things out there that I haven't thought of. I just want to continue to ratchet up the positive things in my life and to ratchet down the negative. And when I catch myself, because I know about myself, I know I need a break sometimes. I know I need to chill on my attitude sometimes. I'm not treating somebody with the tone of voice that they would want, or you know. And it's not because I'm having bad thoughts about this person. It's just I am in my own world, being short, being annoyed about something, and then it comes out. So like, there's all these little flaws I can think about myself and think, all right, I definitely need work on that. Now, what does religion have to do with that? I think because for a lot of people, religion gives you a blueprint. It gives you a plan. It gives you a routine. And like I was saying, systems, you know, with the systems, I got my burrito system. I don't know if I guess I wasn't talking about it on this podcast. I was talking about it, I think, on a TikTok. I like my systems because I spend so much time working on MXPX that I don't have time to do a lot of the other daily things, including cooking and doing like, sure, I brush my teeth, I take showers, I keep myself clean. Like, let's all concede that there are things that need to be done every day, no matter what, right? And you don't have to shower every day. I guess it depends on what you're doing, but every other day sounds decent, right? Back in the day, back in like the Middle Ages, people wouldn't shower for like a whole year. In fact, I think there was a theory that if you showered, diseases could get to you. I remember thinking that myself in high school, which was why I didn't shower that often, maybe once a week. I never washed my pants. I had these big pants. By the way, my daughter wears big wide leg pants now, and I think it's a rebellion to the small pants that us adults wear. And I'm looking at my pants going, I've worn skinny pants, skinny jeans, sure. But these aren't skinny. These are normal jeans that just, they follow my legs. There's not a lot of extra room in there, but they're not skin tight on my legs. Sorry, random diversion. Let me just leave you guys with this. I'm always watching. I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, putting things together. And someday, everything could completely change. I don't know. I feel like we really, really don't know what the future holds. Now, you can predict some things. The type of friends you hang out with will dictate, and pretty strongly, tests have shown, it'll dictate what kind of person you become, what kind of success you will have. That's why they say you hang out with losers, you're a loser. You hang out with winners, you're a winner. That doesn't mean you should abandon all your friends that are losers. Now, I think it just has to do with what is it you're going for? What is it you want to become? Because we're not always born who we are. Sometimes you have to actually work to get it. Yeah, I can't really answer your question probably to satisfaction because I don't know. But I do care. I do care. I respect anybody that really believes in something and has convictions and truly lives their life by it. Now, there's a lot of respect to be had for those people, and people with a head on their shoulders will respect people without their own opinions. People that come from a different place, a different time, a different opinion even. And you know, another thing I've learned over the years is my way is not always the only way. It might be right for me, but it also might not be the best way to be doing things. Like, I'm constantly learning, oh, there's a different way to do what I've been doing, and that kind of seems better. So I'm always open. I'm always waiting. I'm always here. And I appreciate you guys. So, hey, call in. Ask me some more questions about my life. Ask me questions about your life, and I'll tell you what I think. The number is 360-830-6660. Most people listening to this podcast are probably from North America, whether they're in the U.S. or Canada or Mexico. Most of my listeners are over here. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to Indonesia, to Japan, to Europe, Germany. A lot of people in a lot of places, Italy. But most people are here, you know, and it's wild because we have so much propaganda. It's just always something that I'm mindful of, and I still, even though I'm mindful, I still get duped. And so I think that's why I'm a skeptic, you know. I wrote a song called Skeptic. It was on one of our first demo tapes. It never made an album, but that's me. I mean, I've always been that person, although sometimes you just want to let things go because you just want to take it easy. You know, if you don't let it go, it's going to cause you more work. Just like when there's typos on an album cover, when there's this or that, if I say something, we're opening another can of worms. You can just let it go. And a lot of people just choose to let it go. And I try not to choose to let it go. I try to fix it when I notice something's wrong. And if that causes more work, so be it. But that's the job. That's the job. All right. Thanks for calling in, you guys. I appreciate you. MXPX.com. If you haven't already done so, check out all the MXPX socials today. We have an announcement. And please subscribe to our YouTube, MXPX YouTube. I think it's called MXPX Video. You can find it. Push that like, that subscribe would help us immensely. Subscribe to all our socials and like our Facebook page. All right. That's it. PxPX. Let's keep talking about that. Over on the Facebook group. Whichever Facebook group gets it started, doesn't matter to me. Let's just get it started. Before I say peace, shout out to Bob McKnight for producing. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's keep making it happen. Peace.